Hello, I am Becca Rue, and this is Rue's Musings. I thought today's musings was going to be about our feelings of embarrassment and humiliation, and part of my prep for filming this video was to watch Brene Brown's videos on TED Talk again, The Power of Vulnerability. I forget what the other one's called, something about shame. So when I was watching them, I just was crying, and this phrase came into my mind. So we're not talking about embarrassment anymore, we're talking about something else. And the phrase that came into my head was, the work is worth it. So that's what I want to talk about today, that the work that we do on ourselves. And I hope that this is a language that is understood. I'm not talking about going to work, putting on work clothes and being a professional. That type of work is what it is. It's certainly not my expertise at all. I'm talking about the work that we do inside of ourselves, inside of our lives, inside of our relationships. Essentially what all of my videos are about. And having her talk about her research, and those videos that she does are so powerful for a number of reasons. In part because she is speaking so intelligently and kind of hilariously about the research that she does, but also because she's displaying what she's talking about. She's living her vulnerable, true self. One of the things that she talks about a lot that has to do to me with the work being worth it is our ability to tell our whole stories. So I'm lying in bed watching these videos crying, even though I've seen them a lot of times. I said, what is this about? What are these tears about? And that's part of the work, right? That when emotions come up, rather than trying to run away from them, we dive into them. She says, lean in to those emotions. I like that language as well. And it really, for me, the tears were about gratitude, that I've dedicated much of my life to doing this work. And in recent years especially, I really have felt the benefit inside of my relationship, inside of my capacity for joy, inside of my ability to connect to people and show up honestly and share myself in a real way. So I was like, it's just so powerful. So part of what I want to talk about around the work being worth it is that it doesn't really matter what type of work you choose. You can go into therapy, you can have a good, sincere cry in the bathtub. You can work with a life coach, you can work with a nutritionist, you can go to yoga classes, you can do meditation, you can do journaling, you can do webinars online. I don't think the modality matters. I just think deciding on something and giving it a sincere shot is so empowering. I worked with a life coach for a second, and I didn't really like him, and it was so expensive. And so I stopped. I went, four times with him. And some of my favorite language around how my mind works and how I frame my life came from this guy that I didn't really like, in a method I probably would have liked that was too expensive, so I stopped. So I just want us to feel like we can choose whatever we want. And I love inside of this sort of group of people, whoever we are, whatever group of people we make up, that we're like, well, yoga's better than Tai Chi. Or meditation's better than journaling. Or, my green smoothie's better than your protein. It's just so funny. Whatever it is good. That if we're showing up for ourselves to do some of this work, the work is worth it. I want to close with this question about, what else are we doing? What else are we doing here in our lives that's more important than this work? And when I think about this inside my head, I sort of have two answers. One is, raising children, I can imagine, is really such a responsibility. I don't have children, but I picture that really being an important job in your life, to show up for your kids. But inside of that inquiry for myself, I say, if we as parents, not me, if you as parents haven't done your work, what are you giving to your kids? It's the same stories, and not that we're giving our kids our stories no matter what, but we have to do our own work, I think, to parent well. I just do. And I know I'm not a parent, so who am I to say? And the other thing I thought about around why are we here, what are we doing if we're not doing this work to love our lives, to be able to tell our story, to be able to connect with people in a meaningful way through vulnerability, is, to help people. And I know that a lot of this sort of new agey type of stuff says that we're here to be selfless, just to give to people, which is not a philosophy that I resonate with very much. Because if you're giving to people who can't give to themselves, who haven't done any of the work themselves, I don't think it's that meaningful. I just don't think it's that meaningful, because those people have a tendency to take, and we all have to do our own work. And that's what it comes down to me. We all have to do our own work, and the work is worth it. So whatever it is that you want to do, and I think we all know some of the work that we can be doing. In fact, if you don't know, if you're like, I have no idea what work I can do, message me, I'll help. I'll help you try to find some work to do. There's work to be done on yourself and your joy. So that's my message today, that the work is worth it. Maybe we'll talk about embarrassment, humiliation, and shame next week. I will see you in class this week. Super excited to be teaching, and feel free to share this video with your friends on Facebook or through the email. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.